Japan Fashion Now is the first exhibition to look at contemporary Japanese fashion in all its radical creativity, from avant-garde and high fashion through street style and subcultural styles, including menswear. Many of the most interesting designers in Japan today are working in the field of menswear. They're often inspired by retro British and American styles, from punk to preppy and from grunge to Savile Row. But they give it a new spin so that the result is as Japanese as Sony. Japan has some of the most exciting street and subcultural styles in the world. Back in the 1970s, Japanese bikers abandoned the black leather jackets which typified the style elsewhere to create elegant and bizarre costumes they called Kamikaze Suits. Japanese fashion continues to be on the cutting edge, maybe even the bleeding edge of style. But it's very different from the cerebral avant-garde fashion of the 1980s. The Japanese fashion revolution of the 1980s brought in a new attitude towards the body, a new concept of fashion as art, and very important trends such as deconstruction and all-black fashion. Reikawa Kubo of Comme des Garçons helped launch the fashion revolution of the 1980s. But in recent years, her work has continued to evolve. She and co-combatants Junya Watanabe and Tao Kurihara have begun to explore a combination of avant-garde style mixed with punk, army, and even cute styles. Jun Takahashi of Undercover has been described as the essence of Japanese cool. He once described his work as cute but scary, beautiful but ugly, and said that he hoped to bring beauty and ugliness to the same level. In Japan, though, rebellion is often cute, and various kawaii styles such as the Lolita fashions and princess decoration styles are very important. Today, as Japanese pop culture sweeps the world, young people everywhere read manga, watch anime, and play video games. Japanese fashion is part of this movement. A designer like H. Naoto created not only a variety of gothic punk and Lolita styles, he also worked with the cartoonist Gashikon to come up with little characters hangry and angry, and then also to come up with a music group with two idol singers who also called themselves hangry and angry. Thus music, fashion, cartoons all came together. Uniforms and uniformity play an important part in Japanese fashion culture. The exhibition will include items such as Japanese schoolgirls and schoolboys' uniforms, which go back to Meiji times, as well as real clothes whose rigorous aesthetic and functionality are so important to the Japanese. An intense, even fanatical attention to detail is characteristic of the best of Japanese fashion. Indeed, it could be said that more than any other culture in the world, Japanese culture is focused on fashion. Western fashion entered Japan during the Meiji era and transformed the way people dressed. By the late 20th century, Japan became the first non-Western nation that transformed global fashion with the so-called Japanese Fashion Revolution. Today, in the 21st century, Tokyo remains one of the world's great fashion cities. Japan Fashion Now is intended to serve as a kind of imaginary trip to Tokyo, where you can see the wide range of creative fashions on display.